All right, diving right in today, we're taking a closer look at Nvidia, the big player in all things tech, especially with AI being such a hot topic these days.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking about what's going on with their stock and trying to break down what all came out of their huge GTC conference.
Absolutely. A lot to unpack.
Just getting to the heart of it all without getting too lost in the weeds and all the super technical stuff, right?
Right.
But before we go any further, got to do the disclaimer thing. Just a quick heads up that we're pulling this info from all over the place to give you the latest and greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI info we're chatting about here, well, it's really more for learning and having a bit of fun with, like think educational, but also entertaining.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course, we try to get things right, but no guarantees, okay?
Right.
So use everything responsibly, ethically, and all that good stuff.
For sure.
And just to be super clear, not giving out any financial advice here.
Got it.
So with that out of the way, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
What did we see at NVIDIA's, what do they call it? Their Super Bowl of AI.
The GTC.
Yeah, the GTC conference, right?
Yep, the GTC. It was a big one. It happened in San Jose, California, just recently, March 17th to the 21st. And, well, it's kind of a big deal because, I mean, this company, they're right at the center of everything happening with AI.
Oh, for sure.
Some of the highlights included, that classic keynote from the CEO where we get all the shiny new toys. They often reveal, like, their latest AI hardware, software, and announce some pretty major partnerships with other tech giants.
Oh, I bet.
Plus, there's this Q&A session where the CEO fields questions from those financial analyst types.
Okay, makes sense.
And even some discussions about, like, really out there stuff like quantum computing.
Oh, wow. Quantum computing, that's next level.
Yeah, definitely some exciting developments there.
So it sounds like a pretty pivotal week, wouldn't you say, for the whole industry, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, with all that exciting news and all the innovation they're showing off, you'd think, their stock price would be like going through the roof, right?
Well, that's where things get a little interesting.
Interesting. Okay, tell me more.
You see, the stock's reaction, it wasn't quite the, I guess you could say, the instant jump that some people might have expected.
Really?
In fact, despite all the buzz around the conference, the company's stock actually dipped a bit for the week, something like 3.8%.
Oh, wow. That's a surprise.
And if you look back a bit further, year to date, it's down roughly 12.8%.
Huh. Interesting.
And just the other day, we saw it pull back a little more in the afternoon trading, landing around 117.
Yeah.
But here's the thing to remember. It actually hit its all-time high of 153 back in January.
Oh, right. So it's down from that high point.
Exactly. And sometimes this is what happens. The anticipation, the excitement, it's often already baked into the stock price beforehand.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
So even when there's good news, sometimes people take the opportunity to, cash out a little bit.
Yeah, gotta take those profits sometimes, right?
It's a reminder that the market, it tends to look at the long game, not just get swayed by the immediate hype of a conference.
That's a good point, the long view. So we've seen the conference buzz didn't necessarily translate to an immediate boost.
Right.
But what about those who are like really in the thick of it, day in and day out?
You mean the analysts?
Yeah, the analysts, the Wall Street folks, what are they saying about all this?
Okay, so if we step back and look at the bigger picture, beyond just these recent stock movements, the sentiment from Wall Street analysts, it's still pretty optimistic about this company.
Really? Despite the dip?
Yeah, seems so. A majority of them, like a solid 62, have buy ratings on the stock.
Wow, 62 buy ratings.
Compared to only 5 hold ratings.
Okay, so they're definitely still bullish on it. So what's driving this, continued faith? What are they seeing that's so positive?
Well, one analyst from a big investment firm, I won't name names, but they reiterated their buy rating.
Okay.
And they're really pointing to, encouraging signs of market growth, which is always a good thing.
Makes sense.
But they also highlighted the company's, their ability to take their technology and apply it across a whole bunch of different markets, a bunch of different applications. It's not just a one-trick pony,
Oh, right, that versatility.
Yeah, exactly. They're seeing the potential there. And then you've got another analyst, different firm, also kept their buy rating.
Interesting.
And their main argument seems to be that this company, they're in a prime position to really ride this whole AI wave, capitalize on all this growth that's happening.
Yeah, they're definitely at the forefront of it all.
And a third analyst, another firm, they stuck with their outperform rating, which is pretty positive, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They basically said that everything they saw at GTC just reinforced their view that the company is strong, both on the hardware side and the software side of AI.
Oh, I see.
And they also highlighted, the company's future plans, and they're really excited about the potential of the data center market, which is, a big deal these days.
So it sounds like the overall picture is, even though the conference didn't like make the stock explode overnight,
Yeah,
the people who really analyze this stuff for a living, they're still pretty confident about this company and, their potential to grow as this AI world keeps expanding.
exactly. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Like, what's more important?
Good question.
What really determines whether a company can succeed in a field that's changing as fast as AI?
Right, that's the big question.
Is it all about, generating hype, making splashy announcements at these big gets?
Yeah, that initial excitement.
Or is it more about, that deep down confidence from the financial experts, those who really dig into the numbers and the long-term potential?
That's a really interesting question. What do you think matters more?
Hmm. Something to think about.
Yeah, gives us all something to chew on. And hey, if you found this whole deep dive helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it around, and leave a comment below.
We'd love to hear what you think.
We always appreciate hearing your thoughts, so chime in, let us know what you're thinking about all this NVIDIA and AI stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for tuning in.
Until next time.